The Hive has had an interesting year so far. It had some great updates like the Sonic update, but it also got overtook by CubeCraft in player count. Today, I'm going to discuss about the Hive updates that have been released so far, talk about whether they are good or not, and then go over the future updates that the Hive has planned for the rest of 2021. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for similar content to this. Without further ado, let's get started. First up, we've had the Lunar New Year hub update, where they had a new hub and we had a little treasure hunt trying to find all of the banners to get a cool interesting costume called the Lunar Rock. After that, we got the spring update, which introduced a new limited time mode called Block Drop. People fairly enjoyed this game, and I did too, and it had about 25 levels, with the runner costume being as an unlockable when you reach max level. Now, there were some issues with the XP count on the game, so that's why they did a quality of life update a couple of weeks later just to fix some bugs that the game has had. And after the spring update, we just gotten radio silence from the Hive. It wasn't a good moment or a good period for the Hive just because no updates were being released and people got quite bored of the Hive. Later on, even CubeCraft overtook the Hive in player count, and there were a lot of hackers, and the Hive got criticized for all of these things when it was out of the Hive's control in terms of how the player count was dwindling, and the hackers, people were all blaming it on the bad anti-cheat, where in terms the Hive had a great anti-cheat. And finally, in June, we've gotten a Twitter announcement saying that the Hive Sonic update is coming. People were admittedly excited for this and finally figured out why we didn't get any updates from the Hive. The 2-week Sonic event that happened on the Hive was one of the better updates that the Hive has had this year in terms of player count, in terms of people enjoying it, and also new LTM game that we've had. People clearly loved the update, and especially the weekend surprise event that we've had with Dr. Eggman. And after the Sonic update, we're kind of in the same period with the Hive releasing some generally quality of life updates like the recent Hive Hub update, or even some new maps that were added in Skywars like the Sonic LTM maps or the new Stranded map. Now, with all these things aside, I'd say the Hive has had a pretty okay year so far. Yes, it had some great updates, but as you can see, it kind of shows what happens when you don't update your server just because you're preparing for a 2-week event. I feel like the Hive should just focus on regular monthly updates rather than getting all of their staff and developers to focus on a 2-week event. People want something more permanent. They don't want a 2-week hub event, even though it was a great hub event. And as you can see, it also led to the Hive losing players and even people blaming the anti-cheat and thinking there's a lot of hackers on the Hive. It's gotten quite worse, honestly, and I'm kind of sad because these things shouldn't have happened to the Hive because they were preparing for the Sonic update. So what's next for the Hive in 2021? Well, first up, we're probably gonna have the usual Halloween LTM hub event and the winter LTM hub event, where you have a new LTM game, you have levels, unlockables, costumes, and also a Hive hunt. But I feel like there should be a bit more than just these regular events. Maybe something from their roadmap that they've been planning to release. For example, Mixed Arcade maybe. But again, you shouldn't rush the Hive into some updates or even some bigger updates like the Swarms update, because the Hive wants to make a great product. They don't want to rush it out and then just have people complaining that it's not working. I do like this approach that the Hive is making, and it's at the Hive's discretion when they're going to release the next update. And it's, I guess, in our best interest to be patient with it and have a great product at the end of the journey. So that's going to be it for today's episode. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this a lot. And YouTube recommends this video on screen for you to watch, so go watch it. Bye.